NEWDIGS is an acronym for New Drug Development Paradigms. It is a think and do tank focused on helping the system catch up with the science in biomedical innovation. Our mission is to drive more value faster to patients in ways that work for all the stakeholders. So it's a way of moving biomedical innovation to be both patient-centered and sustainable for the system. The LEAPS project is the one that is sort of the newest one that we're working on now. LEAPS focuses on a somewhat existential question, I think, in biomedical innovation is, what is the fate of biomedical innovation in a world of value-based healthcare? We work with all of the stakeholders across the value chain, including biopharmaceutical companies, regulators like the FDA and their counterparts in other countries, public and private payers, patient advocacy groups, clinicians, and academic researchers. And we're all pulling in the same direction to drive sustainable, patient-centered innovation. One problem is that when a product is approved by regulators to move into the marketplace, at that point in time, curiously, systematic learning about the product pretty much stops and leaves us with some massive, complex knowledge gaps that actually start to really matter in a world of value-based healthcare, where payment for products by insurance companies and Medicare and Medicaid depend upon their ability to actually drive clinical value, improve outcomes for patients. So this is about moving from bigger data to smarter evidence. It's going to require a kind of evidence that is complicated to generate. It's currently expensive to generate it. It involves the use of real-world data from electronic health records in hospital systems, ambulatory care settings, claims data from the insurers. It involves data from patient registries, even Fitbits and some of the mobile technologies for remote tracking and sensing are going to become more and more important, making much greater use of real-world data and using some of the advanced analytic technologies that are so important to SSRC and to IDSS. Having very busy providers, clinicians, have to enter data in a separate type of a data repository on top of what they're already doing. I think we all know as patients, we're all patients. We see this with our providers. I experienced it as a provider. Anytime that you're busy entering more data into a different repository, you're not actually connecting with your patient because you're documenting and you're not interacting with your patient. We are applying platform strategies, which means we're developing infrastructures that allow us to not continue to do one and done answering of questions, but actually embed it in workflow processes so that it is scalable and sustainable to the system. We also generate generalizable tools, principles, design principles that can be made available to other innovators in other diseases and other geographies so that they can also benefit from what we're learning as we go. We're designing a next-generation learning and innovation ecosystem using Massachusetts as a statewide testbed environment, and we'll be doing our prototyping around one disease. For every day that a patient with rheumatoid arthritis is on the wrong treatment, their disease is progressing in irreversible ways. Everyone in the system needs better evidence so that we can all do better on these questions. The work that we're doing at NEWDIGS is very valuable, I think, to students on campus. It's not traditional academic research per se, because innovation, when you're designing it from a systems perspective with all the stakeholders at the table, is very, very different than the traditional type of linear sequential planning of innovation steps. I've known, I think, on some level all my life that we need to take systems approach to really solve problems, but I can see now why people don't do it. It's very challenging and it goes against the grain in a lot of ways. People want quick hits, easy, quick wins, and very near-term deliverables. And that's just not consistent with what really happens in systems innovation. But we've shown in NEWDIGS that with systematic approaches, the right people at the table, we can channel expertise in ways that can actually move us from concept to real-world pilots within 3 years. So we're really excited about that.